Most people still think the next technology war will be fought with better AI models, bigger data centers, faster chips, more venture capital. But over the past few days, a series of events quietly challenged almost everything the technology industry has believed for the last 2 decades. Elon Musk publicly warned that China has a real chance of leading the global AI race. China continued expanding what is already the world's largest electricity infrastructure. And artificial intelligence quietly crossed another threshold, evolving beyond simply answering questions into performing increasingly complex work. On their own, these stories appear unrelated. Together, they reveal something much bigger. The next technology war has already started, and it looks nothing like the conflicts that came before it. For the last 20 years, the blueprint for technological dominance was remarkably simple. Raise more capital, build larger data centers, buy more advanced semiconductors, and scale faster than everyone else. Silicon Valley became the undisputed center of technological innovation by mastering abundance. Whoever spent the most usually won. But abundance has a weakness. It only works while resources remain effectively unlimited. Once constraints appear, the rules begin to change. And that is exactly where we are today. We are moving away from an era defined by raw computing power. We are entering an era defined by optimization. The new battlefield isn't simply software. It is electricity, semiconductors, manufacturing, robotics, infrastructure, and structural independence. This is no longer just a competition between AI companies. It is becoming a competition between entire industrial ecosystems. That shift was quietly highlighted by Elon Musk. Over the past few weeks, Musk has repeated the same warning across multiple interviews and public conversations. His message has been remarkably consistent. China has a genuine opportunity to lead the next era of artificial intelligence. During his conversation with The Economist, Musk argued that China should not be underestimated in the AI race. In a separate discussion on Peter Diamandis' Moonshots podcast, he expanded on what he believes will become the defining constraint of artificial intelligence. Not software, not algorithms, electricity. Why would one of the world's most influential technology entrepreneurs suddenly stop talking about AI models and start talking about power generation? Because AI has quietly stopped being only a software problem. It has become an infrastructure problem. Every new generation of AI requires exponentially more computation. More computation requires more servers. More servers require more electricity. And electricity is becoming one of the invisible bottlenecks of the AI economy. Outside China, electricity generation has remained relatively flat across many advanced economies, even as demand for large-scale computing continues accelerating. China has taken a different path. In that same conversation, Musk suggested China's electricity production could eventually approach 3 times that of the United States, driven largely by an aggressive expansion of energy infrastructure, particularly solar power. Whether that exact projection proves accurate remains to be seen, but the broader trend is already measurable. China continues expanding electricity generation far more aggressively than most developed economies. That changes the conversation completely, because the next breakthrough may not come from writing better algorithms. It may come from having enough energy infrastructure to keep vastly larger computing systems running. But electricity is only one layer of a much larger system. The next layer is semiconductors. For years, advanced chips were viewed as the ultimate strategic advantage. Export controls were designed around one central assumption: limit access to high-end hardware, and you limit AI progress. But constraints often produce unexpected behavior. Instead of abandoning the race, many Chinese companies were forced to redesign how AI systems are built. Rather than assuming unlimited computing resources, engineers increasingly focused on squeezing more performance from fewer chips. They optimized models, reduced computational waste, improved software efficiency, and began building systems designed around scarcity rather than abundance. History shows that necessity often accelerates innovation. Artificial intelligence may be proving that lesson once again. The next layer is automation. Only a few years ago, AI primarily generated information. You asked questions, it generated answers. Today, advanced AI systems are increasingly capable of writing software, coordinating complex workflows, analyzing enormous datasets, and assisting with multi-step engineering tasks. Artificial intelligence is gradually shifting from information to execution. And once software begins executing work, the natural destination is manufacturing. This is where China's position becomes especially significant. According to multiple industry reports, nearly 90% of the world's humanoid robot production is now concentrated in China. That statistic isn't just about robotics. It represents something much larger. Robotics sits at the intersection of AI, manufacturing, and industrial capability. Software becomes machines, machines build products, products build economic power. This is no longer simply about chatbots. It is about industrial capacity. And perhaps the biggest strategic difference between East and West comes down to philosophy. Silicon Valley solved the first wave of AI through abundance. Larger data centers, more GPUs, more infrastructure, and billions invested into scaling computation. That strategy produced extraordinary results. But constraints change incentives. Export controls, hardware shortages, and restricted semiconductor access forced many Chinese companies to optimize instead of simply expanding. Imagine two AI companies. One requires 10 enormous data centers to achieve a certain level of performance. The other delivers comparable capability using a fraction of the computing resources. The second company doesn't simply reduce costs. It consumes less electricity, requires fewer chips, scales faster under constraints, and becomes significantly harder to contain. When you cannot outspend your competitors, you are forced to out-optimize them. History suggests that constraints often produce the most important breakthroughs, and that appears to be happening again. For decades, many assumed technology would remain largely unipolar. One dominant ecosystem, one dominant philosophy, one dominant center of innovation. That assumption is becoming increasingly difficult to defend. On one side stands a system built around capital abundance and massive scale. On the other stands a rapidly evolving ecosystem built around optimization, infrastructure, manufacturing, and execution. Neither side has won, but both are now playing fundamentally different games. This is no longer simply a corporate rivalry. It is a competition between two competing models of technological development, and that competition may define the next 20 years. The biggest mistake governments, businesses, and investors could make is assuming this race will be decided solely by who spends the most money. Because the future of technology may not belong to whoever builds the largest data center. It may belong to whoever learns to accomplish more with less. If that happens, the balance of technological power could look very different by the end of this decade. If you found this analysis valuable, subscribe. Here on NextGen, we don't chase headlines. We explain the systems shaping the future before they become obvious. And I'd like to hear your perspective. Who do you think has the stronger long-term strategy in this new technology war, and why? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. This is NextGen, where we connect the dots before everyone else sees the picture.